Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and this is Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So, it has been kind of a crazy week. And it really kind of lent itself in a big way to what we're going to be discussing, the last part of our discussion about spirituality and magic. And that is a sense of accountability. And this has been really significant for me. For those of you who don't know or who aren't connected to me on Facebook, this past Sunday, I was, here, my office is at the same place where the local church charter for the Universal Church of the Masters is, which I participate in. And for 8 years, I would come in, put my purse on my chair, close my door, and, go to the church service, and no problem. And this past Sunday, I went back to my office, I opened the door, and someone had stolen my purse. And that can lead to a whole lot of very stressful experiences. And it can also lead to, shall we say, dipping our toes into the shadow end of things. Because when somebody takes something from you and you really feel that sense of violation, anger is a very common response to that. And one of the things that anger does is it says, you know what? You've got an ability to do something. You can affect that person. So why don't you? Because obviously they have it coming and they deserve it. And it's just really interesting where that goes and how strongly that can come into play. And I was really wondering what it was that I wanted to talk about, to kind of culminate and close up this part of our topic. And I really, felt that as a strong indication that, maybe part of this experience is about talking about that sense of accountability, talking about that sense of just because I can, does that mean that I should? And for me, my journey through this, while I began formal training, about 15 years ago, this work has always been a part of my life, even when I was very young. And, we all go through those phases of studying different things and different aspects of the work, both in light and in shadow. And, many of us played in that playground, and I was one of them. I am not, I wasn't always the person that I am now. And, in thinking back as to, what gives us the right, or what makes us feel like we've got the right to affect the lives of another just because they've done something hurtful to us. And I really wasn't very solid in a sense of spirituality related to a faith, or, thou shalt and thou shalt not. And so the idea that, and there are a lot of people out there, sadly, who will utilize and tap into these gifts as a way to hurt people or to manipulate. And for me, I think that that is the strongest indication of why it's good to incorporate a sense of spirituality into the work. Because, a lot of things happen. A lot of things come up. When it really sank in, because it's like, you go through those 5 stages of grief, like immediately, and then you kind of rehash and go back through them later. For me, it was a very strong sense of, at first it was like, no. Obviously, I put the purse somewhere else. I mean, maybe I took it out with me, knowing that I hadn't. And so, when it finally sank in, I went from denial to anger. It's like, son of a biscuit, someone took my purse. And even then, the reality, saying it out loud, was like, whoa. And then we went to bargaining. And it's like, you know what, please, just let it be there. Let it, just make it not so bad. Let them have thrown it in, next to the bush or something. If you do that, please, please, I'm a good person. I do nice things. And of course it wasn't. And then we go into depression, where I tears welled up in my eyes that, that somebody would come in and just take something. I mean, I'm fairly generous when it comes to, like, someone comes into the church and says, it's like, hey, can you spare a few dollars? I always make a point of giving. And what really kind of got at me was the fact that if that person had come up to me and asked me for money, I would have given them as much as I could. And then acceptance. And, it was that first momentary, it's like, okay, this is a thing, this is happening, I gotta deal with it, there's things I need to do to, I had to get a replacement key for my car so I could get into my car, and just all of these things. And over this past week, I've been pretty much nonstop dealing with things, and how do I, get, my bank stuff taken care of when they say they need a picture ID, which I don't have because it's gone. And so there's been a lot. And I really, and during the anger part, we all carry light and shadow. Every single one of us. It's about what we choose. We choose based on what we feel is that moral compass, our internal sense of right and wrong. And, I had quite a few people who I know who are, different types of practitioners all along the scale. And, several of them were, it's like, all right, well, we're gonna whip something on this person. It's like, no, we're not. We're not. And I was very definite with that. And I spoke to each one very seriously and said, no, I do not want anything directed at that person. Because the thing is that there's something really messed up in their world to make it okay to come in and take something from someone. And the fact that I was really upset about it, that's for me to deal with. That's my thing. I need to find peace with that. And I can't find peace with that doing something bad or wishing something bad on the person who became the catalyst for it. I mean, yes, my saying, life is fun until it isn't, and it sucks until it doesn't, and this sucks. It just, my office is one of the places that is my safe place, and it's a place I make safe for others. It is a sacred space, for me and for anyone who comes in that door. And that was affected, that was damaged. That sense of this place isn't safe anymore. So my work was about, okay, I don't want to direct my energy towards, payback or revenge. I need to direct my energy on how can I heal this space? How can I bring it back to that place of safety where I feel safe in it, where others feel safe in it? Because it really does come down to what it is that we want to put our energy into. And, maybe there are people who want to put their energy into, getting what they can, manipulating others, damaging others. And frankly, I consider that a waste of energy. And ultimately, these are things. The purse was a thing. The contents, even the cash that was in it, was a thing. And certainly one of my patients who, is very sweet said, because she also comes to the church, and she comes, she said, well, I went through that way, and if, if I had seen them, I would have, intervened. And I said, I really appreciate the thought, but I'm glad that you didn't, because there was nothing in that purse that was worth your safety. And it really is, it's stuff. And for those of you who remember, you can look back in the videos where my car was stolen, which is like, this is starting to feel a little personal. I mean, I know it isn't, but it feels it. And right out in the parking lot, I had a car stolen. So some might say, oh wow, there's a curse on me or whatever. It's like, I just go with the fact that sometimes stuff happens. And that is not a reason for me, just because someone else chooses badly. It's not an excuse for me to choose badly. It's not an excuse for any practitioner to choose badly. Once you go down this road, and once you really start learning and embracing it, and really stepping up into it in a very substantial way, there's a price we pay. And one of those prices is we don't get to lash out. We don't get to just completely throw everything we believe in out the window and, just to pay back somebody. It's not about, life isn't about payback. Life is about, okay, this was a bad situation, what can we do to correct it? Am I locking my door now on, if I'm not in the office? Yes, I am. And for me, that was a struggle, because it's like, okay, am I changing my ability to trust, or my comfort, in a way that, that never resonated with me? I'm not a, lock your door during the day type of person. And I'm finding that I am now. I mean, if I'm heading down the hall to the bathroom, I lock my door. And I think that that's how I need to be for a while. I might become more comfortable, but, once bitten, twice shy. And I've been twice bitten around here. So the idea that for now, that's what I need to do. I need to, kind of circle in and do what I can do to feel safe. And at some point, maybe I'll feel okay walking down the hall. It's just right now, it's a little bit too soon. And one of the best things, it's like we always have to look for that gift. And that's another part of incorporating spirituality, the ability to accept that something bad can happen and yet good can come from it. And the ability to look for that good. And I was so touched by the outpouring of support and comfort and everything that I experienced. It really was very touching. I posted it on Facebook, and over 100 comments, supporting me and saying how sorry they were that I was going through it. And that did help. It helped a lot. Knowing that, and people saying, it's like, hey, if there's anything you need, let me know. And that was really very sweet. When I had nothing. I had no cash, and in order to get my key replaced, it was like $150. And I went out, and I told the people that were there, after the church service, there were still people there. And I said, my purse has been stolen, it's going to cost this much. And people couldn't get into their purses and wallets fast enough. It was like not even a hesitation. Here's what you need. You do this. What else can we do to help? And that person, whoever did this, all they got was stuff. What I got was love and support. And because I believe with every fiber of my being that there is a divine consciousness that does watch out for me. It doesn't mean no bad thing will happen to me. but it means that when it does, I'm not alone. And I was reminded how not alone I am. So that was a good thing. And yeah, I mean, that's why I always buy the insurance. My phone and my tablet were able to be replaced, and I got my phone today. That was a little bit of a journey and an adventure in itself, but I've got the new phone, and yeah, oddly enough, both my phone and my tablet had been um, they no longer had that model, so I ended up getting upgrades on both of them. So yay. The reason that I feel that this relates to magic, like I said, you know, the more you study into this and wherever on the spectrum of light and shadow you fall, some are in that center gray area. Just because we can does not mean we should. It means that we have a responsibility. Whatever it is that your faith, your religion, your spirituality, and your way tell you about how you should hold yourself and walk in this world, you need to listen to that, because that adds to the magic. If I had influenced something, if I had tapped into some of that old knowledge that I haven't used in a very, very, very long time, that there's always that part of me. I mean, even Dr. Eileen has got her shadow aspect going. It's like, oh no, we ain't going down like this. We're going to get that person. And we know we can. And we don't even have to know who it is in order to do it. Yeah, that was a choice. But it wasn't the one I chose. I mean, yes, truth be told, for a split second, it was attractive. But the thing is that after that, I still have to live with me. That person isn't the only one who has to live with the consequences of that choice. And the thing is, the person who came in and grabbed my purse, I don't believe that they meant it to hurt me. I mean, they just saw an opportunity. Maybe it's something that they do a lot, and maybe, they're in a situation where they needed something. If I did something, if I utilized magic to, you know, issue revenge, then that would mean that they did something hurtful without an intention to hurt, but I would be doing something with an intention to hurt, and that's not okay. I mean, if you walk that road, good luck to you. Because, utilizing magic to hurt, to intentionally hurt, that incurs a price. There is always a price to be paid in this work, and that incurs a fairly steep one. I would not do that. I will not say that I've never been tempted. And, those who know me know that, I can walk both those worlds. But the thing is that I know deep down it would be wrong. This work, this way, these abilities, these connections are sacred. I mean, like, beyond words, sacred. If you gain an ability to be able to tap into this, that's not something everybody gets to do. It's special. And to use it for personal gain, to use it for, yeah, you're okay asking for a good parking spot. And, we all put in those good thoughts for a lottery win. But to really act selfishly, to intend to hurt someone just because you feel that you're justified, that, it's revenge. I wouldn't go down that road. It's not a good one. It takes away from your connection. It takes away from harmony. Because the main part of being able to utilize magic is that you find balance. That you are balanced in the work. That's when it works best. When you can release attachments. And if you can release attachments, then, you know, all right, if you can release attachments, then the magic flows so much better. And when you have a strong core of belief systems that help you in those difficult times when the balance is not feeling quite so balanced, when primal instinct or gut or fear or anger decide they want to take over, what's your fallback plan? What is, the place where you go to know right from wrong? And I cannot think of a more important aspect than the ability in this work to know right from wrong. To know that what you're doing is bringing positive change into the world, or what you're doing is bringing negative change into the world. One way or another, you're causing an effect. Frankly, I think I'd prefer to go with the positive, because what that does is that stretches out to everyone. Everything that you create and manifest, it's like a ripple effect, or a butterfly effect. It goes far beyond what you know. And if we're going to set something into motion, I would recommend setting something into motion that creates goodness and creates balance and order and leads away from chaos. Shadow isn't evil, it's just chaos. And it's imbalance. And while, it's the other side of the coin, we need to respect and honor that. It's about what we choose. It's about what we can live with. It's about not going for what will make us feel better right now, as opposed to what will ultimately be better for us. And, what the spiritual meaning behind this happening, I don't know. I wish it didn't. And, I figured that I'm willing to trust that there was some meaning to this. And maybe that's not for me to know. Maybe this is about that person. This is about their work and their being in this world. It had nothing to do with me. It was my stuff, but it doesn't change who I am and how I work. And yes, pissed off beyond belief, saddened beyond belief, violated. All of those things. Yeah, I feel them, but they're not shadow. They are a natural response to, something bad happening. And I knew that I needed to go through that in order to be able to find my balance point again. How am I going to restore balance, to my space? I can't clear a space and make it safe and gentle and healing if I'm carrying around that really hard stuff inside of myself. So that's been my work this week, is to be able to find that balance point again, to let go, to acknowledge that everything I was feeling was perfectly appropriate, and at the same time, being willing to look beyond it. So, the way I did that, and the way I'm continuing to do that, is through my sense of spirituality. My relationship with the one I call Creator, who I just could picture in that moment, that being going, okay, before you get mad, hear me out. Hear me out. I know it sucks, but there's something better on the other side of this. So, I trust. I trust Creator. And you can trust whoever you trust, whether it's a divine being, or string theory, or Bob the Cosmic Muffin, whoever it is you go to say, you know what, I'm not sure, where should I go with this? And then you feel that sense of guidance. So, go ahead and be mad when something happens. Go ahead and be hurt. Go ahead and feel everything you need to feel. Take it in, process it, acknowledge it, study it. But in the end, be who you are. Be who your sense of spirituality says you should be. Let that guide you. You know, the old saying, let your conscience be your guide. Well, let your spirituality be your guide. Because if you do, what will happen is that your magic will go to a level that you never dreamed possible. Because you will be tapped into, not only are you tapped into that bigger energetic source, but you're doing so in a way that your spirit and your mind and your heart are clear. Don't let someone else's actions turn you into someone that you don't want to be. Don't go down that road, because even though it might seem to feel better, in the end, you don't want to pay that bill. It's okay. The universe will deal with them. But you stay who you are, in your heart, in your faith, and with your Creator. So, thank you for joining me, and if you found value in this, please share it. Next week we will be starting with a new topic, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can go into the comment section and leave them there, or you can reach me through the Facebook group Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen. You can also reach me on Twitter, and the links for both of those are in the description. What else? Oh, please, if you like this and if you look at some of the other videos and think they're kind of cool, subscribe. It's always cool to see the community grow. And if you would like to support me at a bigger level, then you can sign up through the Patreon link, which is also in the description, and you can, become a patron, become a sponsor for me. So, anyway, it's been a very long week, but it's been a good week. In a lot of ways it sucked, but it sucks until it doesn't, and it doesn't quite suck as much as it did. It's getting better. I hope whatever you're going through is getting better too. I believe in you. You can do this. You can choose, and choose what's right in your heart. Have a wonderful week, and as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you.